The grasslands of Africa have never had room for weakness. This is the battleground of fang and claw, rebellion and courage. Dawn blazes across the boundless grasslands, a kingdom where time is not measured in minutes but in a prey animal's final breaths. At the heart of this legendary land, an empire reigns. But its grandeur has always come at the brutal cost of survival. The lion, undisputed sovereign of these sun-scorched plains, possesses not merely raw muscular power, but carries the weight of an entire royal bloodline. The dominant male stands atop a rocky outcrop, his mane rippling in the wind like a banner of absolute authority, scanning the horizon with unwavering vigilance. His scent marks every blade of grass, an invisible signature reminding all trespassers of the price they would pay. His territory stretches across dozens of square miles, land where every inch must be defended with blood. In the shadows of brittle thornbush, young challengers lurk in silence. They wait, patient, cold-blooded. The average reign of a dominant male lasts just 2 to 3 years before a younger, stronger generation arrives to replace him. His roar carries up to 5 miles through the still night air, a declaration of sovereignty that every creature must heed. But the true power of this dynasty lies with the huntresses' silent silhouettes moving through the tall grass with terrifying patience. They hunt in coordinated groups, each lioness occupying a specific tactical position, like players on a field, moving in concert without a word. Hunger is an unforgiving teacher. It drives them to execute high-risk pursuit strategies beneath the scorching sun of the dark continent. Their success rate hovers around just 25%, meaning 3 out of every 4 hunts end in failure. But failure never stops them from trying again. Not far away, a family of warthogs forages diligently in the damp soil, entirely unaware of the death sentence hanging over their heads. The scent of freshly turned earth is enticing, but it is also the very signal that betrays their location. The African warthog possesses razor-sharp tusks and survival instincts honed over millions of years of evolution. Their lower tusks sharpen themselves with every opening and closing of the jaw, a perpetual blade forged by nature's own design. The mother leads her young with extreme caution, her ears rotating constantly to catch the faintest tremors of approaching danger. When fleeing, their tails stand bolt upright like signal flags, a follow me beacon, ensuring the piglets never lose their way. Despite their small stature, warthogs can reach speeds of 30 miles per hour, fast enough to outrun most predators if detected in time. Silence here is often a deceiving illusion. It conceals a storm about to break from behind the dusty thickets. The lionesses have closed in, muscles coiled beneath golden hides, each step as weightless as the air itself. Their coordination is a masterpiece of military strategy, an invisible trap tightening with every second. One cuts off the northern escape route, while a second closes in from the east, leaving no way out. When the distance narrows enough to feel the prey's breath, silence is torn apart by a threatening roar and a cloud of red dust. The attack is over in an instant. A display of killer instinct refined across 1,000 generations. A precise lunge ends all hope of resistance. Leaving a haunting silence across the vast grassland. On this land, the sacrifice of one life is the price paid for the survival of another in nature's unending cycle. The piglets flee in terror toward the burrow, reversing in so their tusks face outward, their very first lesson in the art of defense. And from the shadows, the glinting eyes of hyenas watch and wait, ready to claim whatever remains. As the shadow of the hunt fades, a harsh social order reveals itself under the midday sun. The feast of the sovereign is never a fair or peaceful affair. The male lion approaches with full majesty, using sheer dominance to claim first rights over the freshly fallen prey. This is the privilege of the one who holds power over life and death, an immutable law that has maintained royal bloodlines for centuries. The females must wait their turn, despite being the ones who sweated and bled in the hunt. Yet the scent of blood and fresh meat quickly rouses other opportunists across the plain. Spotted hyenas, predators brimming with cunning, are gathering in the shade of ancient acacia trees. Hyenas are far more than scavengers, as many believe they are formidable hunters in their own right, securing up to 70% of their food through their own kills. Their wild, cackling laughter echoes across the landscape, not joy, but a psychological tactic probing the patience of opponents. They do not rush in, but wait for the smallest opening to seize another's hard-won prize. The standoff between apex hunters and nature's cleanup crew is a battle of wits that has played out for millions of years. Meanwhile, another story begins quieter, but no less heartbreaking. The orphaned warthog piglets, now utterly alone, search desperately for shelter in dark earthen hollows. Without their mother's protection, primal instinct is their only compass between the boundary of life and death. They must learn. To tell the sound of wind through dry grass from the footsteps of a stalking enemy. Their survival depends entirely on the speed of their adaptation and the unyielding perseverance encoded in their bloodline. The grassland never has room for weakness, but it always offers a chance to those who rise from loss. Yet what comes next will prove that no throne lasts forever. The reign of a male lion is never built on a foundation of permanent safety. The arrival of nomadic males from distant lands carries the pungent scent of rebellion. They observe from afar, measuring the strength of the current sovereign through every labored breath and heavy step. A battle for power is about to erupt, where fangs and courage will decide who controls the future of the pride. Glory is but a fleeting moment. Challenge never ends. In the distance, where limestone ridges block the view, another massive silhouette moves slowly into frame. Lions rule through fear, but other giants rule through memory and ancient wisdom. An invisible transfer of power is unfolding as the scorching sun begins to angle toward the horizon. As the heat retreats, another force emerges from the haze of memory. These are the gentle giants, keepers of time's map, and the deepest secrets of water. Leading this clan is a wise matriarch, a living library of survival at the heart of the Dark Continent. Her experience, accumulated over decades, is not merely a gift but a life-saving map for every member of the herd. Their footsteps, though weighing several tons, fall with an almost supernatural lightness, as if treading gently upon fragile earth. The trunk, with its intricate network of over 40,000 muscle fascicles, is a marvel of natural engineering powerful enough to topple a full-grown tree, yet delicate enough to pluck a single blade of grass. Imagine an arm without bones or joints that can lift 700 pounds and pick up a single peanut that is the elephant's trunk. Beneath their thick, wrinkled skin lies a sophisticated thermoregulation system that helps them endure temperatures exceeding 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Those wrinkles are not signs of age. They are cooling channels that retain moisture and dissipate heat 10 times more efficiently than smooth skin. Elephants communicate not only through gentle touches of the trunk, but through infrasonic rumbles below the threshold of human hearing, like whispers carried by the earth itself. These deep, resonant calls travel up to 6 miles across the ground, creating a vast, invisible social network. Other herds listen to these vibrations through the sensitive pads of their feet, just as humans read messages with their eyes. Elephants read signals through bone. Ahead of them lies the great Chobe River, a perilous challenge on the journey to find sustenance. The matriarch pauses at the water's edge, using her sensitive trunk to probe the currents and gauge the depth. She has crossed this river dozens of times, each crossing etched in her memory, knowing precisely where it is safe and where crocodiles lurk. The safety of the calves is the absolute priority as the herd slowly wades into the churning current. When the water rises above the heads of the young, their trunks reach skyward like snorkels, an innate instinct passed down through thousands of generations. A full-grown elephant needs up to 50 gallons of water each day. The reason: the search for water is always a matter of life and death. The adults form a solid ring, shielding the next generation from the dangers lurking beneath the surface. The unity of this clan is its supreme weapon, an invisible force that carries them through every hardship. Having crossed the turbulent Chobe, the family intertwines their trunks, in a gesture of trust and triumph. It is a declaration that unity is an unbreakable bond among these magnificent beings. Leaving the elephant's serene world behind, another society operates chaotic, treacherous, and no less flawed. Baboons, the shrewd inhabitants of the cliff faces, possess the most complex and ruthless political system on the plains. If elephants are the aristocracy, then baboons are the parliament where every seat of power comes at a price. Here, status is never permanent. It must be seized and defended with strength and daring. The dominant male strides with authority, bearing canines as long as daggers to deter any thought of rebellion. With dozens of distinct vocalizations, they have built a sophisticated language, every shriek, every bark carrying a specific message. But safety in their world is only temporary, as darkness begins to shroud the towering cliffs. In the silent chaos of the dark night, an exhausted young elephant has inadvertently fallen behind the clan. A brief encounter with a lurking predator ends in silence, leaving a painful void for the following day. Dawn carries with it a haunting mourning ritual. The entire herd gathers around the remaining traces. No one hurries, no one leaves. They gently touch the ground with their trunks, a quiet farewell to a fallen companion. The matriarch stands beside the remains, longer than any other her aged eyes, gazing down at a place where only traces remain. Scientists have documented elephants returning to visit the bones of deceased herd members years later, a behavior that science has yet to fully explain. This loss will eventually be eased by the arrival of new life, a joy shared by the entire clan. Tiny, inquisitive trunks explore a new world, learning the language of tenderness and strength under a watchful guardian. Every touch is a lesson. Every vibration is a memory. When a pack of hyenas appears with hungry eyes, the mother elephant unleashes a thunderous warning that tears through the air. The herd swiftly forms a living fortress, an impenetrable wall shielding the smallest member. As dusk descends, their very presence reshapes the landscape across a vast expanse. By toppling trees and opening clearings for new grass to grow, they are the ecosystem's engineers maintaining the heartbeat of the entire land. But even giants are never entirely safe from the darkness. A strange scent drifts on the wind, a signal to move, not a signal of safety. And the darkness belongs to one creature no one wants to meet. High above the sheer cliff faces, the baboon society faces its own brutal trial in the night. The young cling tightly to their mothers' backs, anxious eyes sweeping through the shadows. A leopard conceals itself among the foliage, its golden eyes glowing like two burning amber stones locked onto an exposed target. This spotted assassin possesses astonishing strength, capable of dragging prey twice its body weight up into the treetops, the way a hunter hangs a trophy on a stake. A strike, a blink, over. Pandemonium erupts through the troop, alarm calls tearing through the night forest. A network of collective intelligence activates each distinct sound carrying a specific meaning. Where the enemy is, how far, how large. The leopard carries its prize to the highest branch beyond the reach of any hyena, any lion. One creature's death is another's survival. Collective intelligence is the only thing keeping baboons alive through every night. When the scorching sun returns, it brings another crisis. Water is vanishing. The sun drains the last lifeblood of the land. The rivers are running dry. The pungent stench of cracking mud spreads wide, the scent of desperation. Amid pools of thickening sludge, the battle for survival rages with unbridled ferocity. Hippopotamuses, those ill-tempered giants, are the undisputed lords of this amphibious realm. Their sluggish appearance on land stands in stark contrast to their terrifying agility beneath the murky water, like a freight truck suddenly transforming into a submarine. When territory is violated, they attack without hesitation, unleashing the full fury of a zealous guardian. A colossal mouth with a bite force reaching 1800 psi, stronger than a lion's, serves as a lethal warning to anything that dares approach. Weighing up to 4,000 pounds, the hippo is the third heaviest land mammal on the planet, surpassed only by elephants and rhinoceroses. A prolonged yawn is no sign of relaxation. It is a display of power, a moment that reveals canines measuring up to 20 inches long. Yet the merciless thirst of the dry season grants other species no choice of safety. It compels thousands of creatures to gamble with their lives for the last precious drops of water. And when the water runs dry, whoever drinks first may die first. A herd of zebras approaches the water's edge with instinctive hesitation, their ears in constant rotation, scanning for the faintest disturbance. Nature has bestowed upon them a unique defense mechanism, a coat of contrasting black and white stripes, each pattern as unique as a human fingerprint. When moving together as a unified mass, these stripes create a peculiar optical illusion, an effect scientists call motion dazzle. A living labyrinth that bewilders predators, making it extraordinarily difficult to single out one target. But beneath the water's mirror-still surface, ancient killers wait with infinite patience. The Nile crocodile, master of ambush, can lie motionless for hours, blending seamlessly into the current. It requires no cheetah's speed, relying instead on supreme patience and a bite that crushes all resistance. A bite force reaching 3,700 psi, the strongest in the animal kingdom, turns the crocodile's jaws into steel vises from which nothing escapes. A species virtually unchanged for hundreds of millions of years, living proof that perfection needs no further evolution. But water does not bring only savage confrontation. Elsewhere, it creates nature's most exquisite spectacle. At remote alkaline lakes where no fish can survive, a vast ribbon of pink gently descends upon a mirror-still surface. Flamingos, dancers of the sky, gather by the millions, transforming a dead lake bed into a living stage. With their specially curved bills designed to work upside down, like a hand that only functions when flipped, they filter tiny organisms from the saline water. That vibrant pink plumage is not innate. It comes from carotenoid pigments in the algae and crustaceans they consume each day. You become what you eat, quite literally. Their synchronized dance is not merely a visual feast. It is a complex language of courtship and flock solidarity. When tens of thousands of wings beat softly in unison, the air itself vibrates in a symphony of color and sound. Then thirst draws them all back to harsh reality. From the pink hues beneath the water, our lens rises gradually upward to the domain of Africa's most iconic living monuments. Giraffes, with their proud, elongated necks and graceful strides reach the verdant canopy that no other species can touch. Calm, gentle in appearance, but never mistake elegance for weakness. A thunderous rear kick from those pillar-like legs carries enough force to fell a full-grown lion in a single heartbeat. They can run at speeds of 35 miles per hour, fast enough to outpace most pursuers. But when mating season arrives, elegance yields to violence. Those long necks become weapons, and what follows is one of the most dramatic contests on the grassland. Males wield their necks and heavy skulls like battering rams, swinging powerful blows at their opponents in a grueling test of endurance. The dull thud of impact echoes like war drums. The victor claims the future of the bloodline. Beneath these mobile watchtowers, another creature walks with a bearing that is unmistakable. The Chobe River, the heaviest flying bird on Earth, is the embodiment of poise and majesty amid the windswept grass. With males weighing up to 40 pounds, every step across the grassland radiates an air of nobility. During courtship, the male performs a spectacular display, inflating his throat to 4 times its normal size, forming a billowing white balloon. Despite possessing powerful wings, he prefers to remain earthbound, a master of proud, grounded stillness. As the eagle's shadow still glides across the sky, another urgent rhythm rises from below. This is the hunt of the African wild dog, the creature that embodies the highest form of collective intelligence on this ancient land. Without the brute force of a lion or the cold solitude of a leopard, their supreme weapon is teamwork. Each individual, wearing a coat of mottled fur as unique as a fingerprint, is a piece of a living, moving, abstract painting. Their success rate reaches 60%, the highest of any large predator in Africa, double that of the lion. The coordination among pack members is a masterpiece of natural strategy, where no action is wasted. When one dog tires, another seamlessly takes the lead, a perfect relay system requiring no signal. After the kill, they regurgitate food to feed the pups and the members who stayed behind to guard the den, a rare welfare system in the wild. In the world of the wild dog, cohesion is the strongest foundation for facing hunger and enemies alike. This is the final piece that defines the soul of this land, where individual strength must yield to collective wisdom. With each passing day, a new battle begins. For the cycle of survival on the grassland has never paused. Life and death are woven tightly together, crafting a poignant saga of resilience beneath the blazing sun. It is this very harshness that has forged ingenious survival strategies, where every creature is a perfect piece of Africa's ecological mosaic. But this land is steadily shrinking. Climate change, human hands, and indifference. Protecting these noble souls is to protect the staggering diversity of the continent itself. Africa is home to more than 1,100 species of mammals, richer than any other continent on Earth. As the evening light fades, the growls and the lapping of water echo once more, a prelude to a long night of shadows and hopes of renewal. On this ancient land, every drop of water carries the breath of life, and every footstep engraves a memory of courage. The grassland never has room for weakness. But it always opens its door to those who rise. To the warthog piglet learning to back into its burrow, to the wild dogs finding strength in one another, to the matriarch crossing the river for the 1,000th time. This is the legacy of the Dark Continent, where life never surrenders. The earth still breathes, because these souls still walk their timeless path. Thank you for joining Nature Moments. The natural world still holds countless stories waiting to be told. We will see you on the next journey. In the dim moments before dawn, across the parched plains of Hwanghae National Park, mercy finds no place, only thirst endures. The river's great titan has feasted through the night, far from its watery home. Now, the journey back is a desperate race against the rising sun. Its skin, unable to sweat, cries out in the heat. A pink, oily secretion offers but flimsy protection. Ahead, an oasis of life beckons. But such a precious resource is seldom left unguarded. The lords of the dry land have already claimed it for themselves. A pride of lions, masters of the ambush, spies the lone traveler's approach. To them, this is a trespass, a challenge to their sovereignty. A confrontation is now inevitable. This is no contest of speed or agility, but a clash of will and brute force between two monarchs. The hippo, a river god exiled on land, does not falter. It is a living battlement, every inch of its being a testament to the will to survive. That gape is no sign of weariness, but a formidable warning. A display of lethal weaponry, with tusks that can puncture the toughest of hides. The lions, ever the strategists, understand the risks involved. A battle with this behemoth may bring victory, but the cost could be grievous injury. Steadfast resolve prevails. The pride grudgingly yields, a concession that some fights are simply not worth the price. The great Titan has won its passage. And then, salvation. The cool water embraces a weary body. This is more than a drink. It is a homecoming, a rebirth into its own liquid kingdom. Beneath the shade of a large tree, life unfolds at a different pace. The soft morning light bathes their fur, dyeing it in shades of grey and gold. A large troop of chacma baboons is sitting. They are in no hurry. Morning is a time of tranquility. The adult males sit slightly apart, surveying their surroundings. Females gather closer to the trunk, cradling their young. They play, tumbling in the grass. One infant clings to its mother's fur, another curiously prods a nearby termite mound. Baboons will sometimes break them open, searching for termite larvae. A protein-rich breakfast. Some baboons stretch. One leisurely grooms its neighbor, searching for tiny parasites in its fur. This is not just about hygiene. It is about reinforcing relationships. In baboon society, everything is built on affection, hierarchy, and a silent exchange of signals. Each has its place. The alpha male, experienced and strong, may sit aside, but his presence is felt by the entire troop. Females form the core of the community, and the oldest are the keepers of its memory. While the sun begins to scorch the grass, it is still cool beneath the tree. One of the young ones, agile and inquisitive, scrambles up the trunk in play. No worries, no rush, just movement, life, and a warmth that intensifies with each passing hour. The landscape opens up, vast and without boundaries. Where the waterhole ends, infinity begins. Hundreds of kilometers of land stretch to the horizon, painted in tones of ochre, gold, and emerald. This is Hwanga. It covers nearly 6,000 square miles, an area the size of a small nation. Zimbabwe is a country of contrasts. Mountain highlands and sand dunes, dense forests and arid savanna. And within this diversity, Hwanga holds a special place as a sanctuary for life. The canopy offers shade where the world can hide and rest. Here, mopane trees grow, their leaves a deep, rich green. Beside them stand acacias, with their slender branches and sharp thorns, a reliable defense and a haven for many birds. Where the land becomes more arid, one finds the baobabs, living monuments of time. Every tree here is more than a plant. It is a refuge, a source of food, and a landmark. It is home. From the tall grass, where the air shimmers with heat, a powerful figure emerges, crowned with heavy, ringed horns. It is the waterbuck, one of Hwanga's most recognizable inhabitants. It has white markings on its throat and a conspicuous bright ring around its tail. The waterbuck lives near water. Its shaggy coat with its greasy hair is waterproof. If danger is too close, it prefers to plunge into the water and swim rather than engage in a fight. The bulls are often solitary. This one, in the morning light, is cautious and calm. But when another appears nearby, a spark ignites between them. For a brief, almost playful moment, their horns lock. This is not anger. It is a test. Who is stronger? Who is more confident? And a little further on, like a phantom, another figure glides. Black, with broad wings and a patch of bare, crimson skin around its eyes. The southern ground hornbill, a rare, almost mythical bird that seldom takes to the sky. It prefers the ground, where it walks with measured steps. It may seem clumsy, but its bill is powerful and its eyesight keen. This is a species that can live for up to 40 years. At the water's edge, a lone tree leans towards the water, its branches spread like open palms. Its bark is worn by time and sun, but in the twists of its trunk there is a strength, like that of a wise old animal. Here there is no haste, only the moment and the light. The water is still, its surface a mirror. The savanna stretches beyond the horizon. The rare shadows of trees lie on the sand like traces of the past. and patches of green bush hold the day's coolness. In this palette is all of Africa, the ochre of the earth, the gold dust on the branches, the silver of the trunks, the blue of the water, and the endless sky. But that is enough, because in moments like these, you feel that everything here is in its rightful place. And every tree, every footprint in the sand, every glint of light is part of something greater. Beneath a tree, in the shade of its canopy, two young zebras are playing. This is not a quarrel, but a training game. In this way, young zebras develop strength and learn coordination. One gently nips its companion's neck, the other responds with a soft push. It is all a part of communication, a way to strengthen their bond. From the tall grass, a slender neck rises cautiously. A young giraffe emerges from the sea of gold. It is not alone. Beside it stands its mother, tall and attentive. She is browsing, but never takes her eyes off her calf. Only a few hours old, on unsteady legs, the world is a landscape of potential threats. The first lesson: always stay close to mother. But they are being watched. Perfectly concealed, an expert hunter has identified its target. For the lioness, such youth is a fatal weakness. Experience tells the mother, the wind has carried an ancient message. The scent of an enemy. A single moment of vulnerability, the predator strikes. In the midday shade, as the ground heats up, a giant approaches the water's edge, an African elephant, slow, confident, and majestic. It is in no hurry. Each footstep leaves a deep impression in the sand, like a mark of time. Hippos, submerged almost to their heads. Only their ears and nostrils are visible. They move gently, with a solemn grace, like guardians of the water. In the shallows, a flock of pelicans. Their white bodies are like halos on the water. They fear neither hippo nor elephant. Between these three species, there is a strange but understandable balance. Each is great in its own way. While the elephant drinks, raising its trunk and spraying water, the hippos sway gently in the deeper parts, and the pelicans continue their hunt. High on the branch of an ancient tree, a place where a leopard or cheetah might rest, a lioness has settled in. A rare sight, but this predator is no stranger to heights. It has climbed the thick branch with ease and lies there comfortably. From its high vantage point, it can see everything. Movement. Shadow. Scent. It does not sleep, it surveys its domain. Below, amongst the dry grass, a familiar figure appears, the young giraffe, the very same one. The lioness slowly rises. Its muscles are tense, yet supple. It descends without haste, without a sound. The grass falls silent. The air grows heavy. This is the second chance of the day. It moves low and sinuously, becoming part of the landscape itself. Gliding over the water with the grace of an ancient spirit is the African fish eagle, one of Africa's most recognizable birds of prey. But its spectacular dive is cut short. A huge pelican suddenly spreads its massive wings, turning its body into a feathered fortress. Speed confronts bulk. The wise hunter chooses not to risk injury. It utters a cry of concession and retreats to the canopy. In a flash of silent drama, the waterhole now belongs to the pelican. A few zebras graze in the golden sunlight, lazily chewing grass. Nearby, at the water's edge, young baboons are at play. One reaches for the mirrored surface, another chases a friend, setting off a squabble in the troop. But suddenly, there is a swift movement in the air. The African fish eagle returns. It seems it has not forgotten being robbed of its fish by a pelican moments ago. Now it is airborne again, making a turn and diving straight for the flock. The pelicans sound the alarm. They gather into a tight circle, opening their enormous beaks like shields. The eagle, at the last second, veers away and, after a graceful loop over the water, calmly perches on a nearby tree. On the ground, next to a fresh pile of dung, a yellow-billed hornbill is foraging, a charismatic bird with colorful plumage and a long, curved beak. These birds do not hesitate to seek food in the most unlikely of places. In the dung of herbivores, they find beetles, larvae, and other insects. Yellow-billed hornbills are extremely observant. They often follow herds of animals, taking advantage of the insects stirred up by hooves and tails. The lioness reclaims her position on the majestic branch, as if it were her personal lookout tower. Her failure with the young giraffe has not dulled her predatory instinct. She simply waits. From her perch, she has a commanding view of the entire waterhole and the movements of the savanna. Atop a withered tree, the sentinels of the baboon troop sit watch. Their posture is expressive. This is not rest, but vigilance. Their high position gives them a clear advantage. From up here, everything that happens on the plain is visible. Along the bank, through the shallows, a crocodile glides almost silently. Only its long snout and the ridges of its back, like an ancient carving, reveal the predator's presence. At the other end of the waterhole, a completely different scene. A group of ducks is feeding, heads dipped below the surface. They upend themselves with the skill of acrobats, gathering food from the bottom. This is the Nile crocodile, slow and ponderous. With each step leaving deep impressions in the clay bank, it emerges from the water. Beneath its scaled armor is the power of up to half a ton. Adults can weigh from 800 to over 1,500 pounds. At 13 to 16 feet long, this predator is one of the most formidable inhabitants of Africa's waters. And not far off, crowded at the bank, zebras are drinking, unconcerned, absorbed in their thirst. A male lion walks without haste, as if time belongs to him. His thick mane ripples in the light breeze, and his amber eyes gaze forward with confidence. The lion is alone, and he knows the plain is his. But if you look closely, he wears a collar. This is not a mark of captivity, but a sign of scientific attention. A GPS device allows scientists to track the predator's path across the savanna. Where it travels at night, where it crosses the boundaries of unfamiliar territories. When the lion pauses at a waterhole, the signal records his stop. When he moves stealthily in the night, the device transmits his route. And if he should ever leave the park's boundaries, researchers will be the first to know. He himself does not know he is being watched, and that is as it should be. What matters is that he continues to walk the savanna as proud and free as ever. The saddle-billed stork is already there. It stands at the water's edge, motionless in its unusual posture. Its legs, which seem to bend forward at the knee, give its silhouette an almost surreal appearance. This is not a flaw of nature, but an evolutionary solution. In birds, the limbs are constructed differently, and what looks like a knee is actually their ankle. In this stance, the stork can wait for a long time, scanning for movement in the water. To the bank comes a great herd of wildebeest, ponderous, crowded into a dense mass of horned shapes. The rhythm of their movement, slow and confident, speaks of a long-held understanding of this land. Some drink, some watch, but the group stays together like a single organism. The wanderers of the Savanna. Their physique can seem ungainly. But behind this awkward exterior lies a perfect adaptation for long journeys. They can walk and run for hours, covering hundreds of kilometers in search of water and green pasture. The wind stirs their shaggy manes. A watchful silence hangs in the air. On the golden grass, set apart from the other creatures, two secretary birds wander like a pair of scouts. Graceful and unusual, with their long legs and a crest of quills, they seem to be observing order on the plain. In fact, these are not secretary birds, but cory bustards, Africa's heaviest flying bird. But at this hour, they are in no hurry to take flight. The Savanna is generous with food. Despite their weight, these birds can fly, but they do so reluctantly. An elephant approaches a sprawling tree, its curved branches seeming to embrace the air above the dry grass. It inspects the trunk as if considering which side to approach. The branches tremble, leaves rustle, and from above fall pieces of bark, pods, or dry twigs. The elephant picks them up, nudging them gently with its trunk, as if aware of the value of each piece. Such actions are not random. Elephants are highly intelligent. They remember waterholes that dry up only once in decades and can lead their herd to a hidden source many kilometers away. They know how to use tools, such as a branch for a fly swat, and learn new things with ease. But most importantly, they know how to feel. When an elephant shakes a tree, there is no anger or randomness in it. It is a precise, deliberate act. Near the water's edge, there is noise and merriment. On a slope, as if on a playground, a group of young baboons is frolicking. But their antics do not go unnoticed. Nearby sits an adult baboon, calm and watchful. It is like a stern minder in a nursery. It stays slightly apart, but its every glance is meaningful. This is social care in action, a fundamental part of baboon life. The young play together, and the adults watch over them, taking turns to stand guard. The sun sinks towards the horizon, and across the savanna, long, soft shadows fall. The temperature, which held at around 86 degrees Fahrenheit during the day, begins to drop rapidly. By dusk, it is already near 64 degrees. The baboons gather closer, climbing into the trees for the night. They sit quietly on the branches. The pelicans, having found a secluded inlet, stand still in the tall reeds, like white stones. A herd of zebras, with their foals, slowly moves away from the water's edge, heading for the safety of the thickets. The wildebeest lie down on the ground in a dense mass, their ears pricked towards the open plain. They rest in a state of alert, half asleep, and somewhere in the shadows of the trees, an elephant appears again. It walks slowly along a dusty path, feeling the ground with its feet, as if testing its mood. Overhead, the moon rises, steady and bright, and with it, night descends. And so, another day in Huanga comes to a close. A day in which every creature has found its place. Here, in the heart of wild Zimbabwe, life never stops, not even for a minute.
On the horizon, a group of animals appears, breaking the mold of all other predators. Not with power nor with ambush, but with collective precision. These are African wild dogs. Weighing around 66 pounds with long legs and large rounded ears, these hunters may not impress at first glance. But behind that unassuming appearance lies one of Africa's most successful predators. The secret is the pack. Each pack functions as a single living organism where every member knows its role. Before the hunt, there is a quiet preparation, as if they are synchronizing their instincts. They communicate on the run, adjusting positions, encircling their quarry and taking turns in the lead. The prey faces not just speed, it faces a collective intelligence. Their defining trait is stamina. They can run for great distances without reducing their pace. When they catch their prey, they act with brutal speed, eating quickly to minimize the risk of their kill being stolen. Their success rate can be over 80%. A figure attainable only through discipline, communication, and careful selection of prey. This way of life extends to their social world. There is a dominant pair, but all participate in raising the young and caring for the injured. It is a unity rarely seen among predators. They do not need overwhelming strength, they win with strategy. In the world of the African wild dog, no one is left behind. Survival is not an individual effort, but a victory for the entire pack. Even the young are taught to coordinate, not just how to hunt. Each Each day is a test of endurance, cohesion, and loyalty. They do not seek glory, they seek life, and they do it together. In this land of intense competition, they are a reminder that cooperation is also a weapon. As the sun climbs higher, a slender body stretches among the grasses. The cheetah does not roar. It does not impose with size. It is a masterpiece of biological engineering built for speed. Weighing just over 150 pounds, it can seem fragile. But its light skeleton, elastic muscles, and a long tail that acts as a rudder make it the fastest land animal on the planet.
Unlike the unpredictable prey, the Nile crocodile eagerly awaits the grand feast that takes place annually from July to October. During this period, the Mara River transforms into a bustling corridor for the Great Migration. Over 1.5 million wildebeest, along with 300,000 zebras and hundreds of thousands of gazelles, leave Tanzania's Serengeti. As seasoned predators, the Nile crocodiles lie in wait, hidden beneath the water's surface as the great herds gather anxiously along the riverbanks. The mortality rate in the migrating herds can be as high as 10 to 15%, with many falling victim to the sudden, brutal ambushes of these ancient reptiles. As the Mara River's current swells, the wildebeest plunge in with collective force and unshakable determination. Once a crossing point is identified, the entire herd surges forward like a relentless wave. Often interspersed with the black and white striped zebras, the chaos makes it difficult for crocodiles to single out a target. Wildebeest also communicate through warning calls, alerting the entire herd to impending danger and enhancing their collective survival. The zebras, though fewer in number, act as the pioneers of the migration. They understand that the Mara River is a deadly arena dominated by lurking crocodiles. Instead, they rely on solidarity, waiting until their numbers have swelled before making the perilous journey together. This collective approach forms a moving wall of bodies, reducing the chance of any single zebra being targeted. The zebras further enhance their chances of survival by mingling with the enormous herds of wildebeest. When both species plunge into the river together, they create a massive, surging force. This relentless battle for survival is driven not just by instinct, but by solidarity. When faced with danger, the zebras become the warriors of the migration, pushing forward through the perilous waters of the Mara. Surviving the treacherous Mara River is just the beginning. In the harsh and unforgiving ecosystem of the Mara, other giants are lurking, ready to strike any unsuspecting prey. The relationship between the Nile crocodile and big cats, like the lion and the leopard, is one of cautious confrontation. A lion pride is not just a group of animals. It is a highly structured society, typically comprising 10 to 15 members. The lionesses, slender yet powerful, are the primary hunters, working together with remarkable precision to bring down prey. For the lion, every confrontation is not just a test of strength. It is a display of pride, resilience, and the will to survive. These baboons live in complex groups called harems, which can number over 150 individuals, functioning as small societies with tight-knit structures. The Mara River is both a vital source of life and a dangerous battlefield for these primates. When the baboon troop approaches the water's edge, they remain highly vigilant. Sharp eyes scan every ripple, and ears are tuned to any unusual sound. When threatened, the olive baboon emits a loud bark that echoes along the riverbanks. The dominant males react immediately, creating even louder noises. Dawn on the African savanna is a spectacular sight, awakening the landscape in a symphony of colors and sounds. As the first rays of dawn break over the horizon, the sky transforms into a stunning palette of orange, pink, and purple, casting a warm glow over the vast grasslands. As the sun climbs higher, its golden rays illuminate the dew-drenched grass, glittering like diamonds in the morning light. The shadows of the acacia trees stand tall on the horizon, their iconic shapes creating a striking contrast against the vibrant sky. For many, dawn on the African savanna is not just a visual feast, but a reminder of the interconnectedness of life, the beauty of nature. This moment of peace and awakening is fleeting, but it sets the stage for the vibrant, sometimes harsh realities of life on the savanna. The lion, often called the king of the savanna, strength, majesty, and a complex social structure define its journey to dominance. The lion's journey begins at birth, where the cubs enter a world that is both nurturing and dangerous. Usually born in litters of 2 to 4, these vulnerable creatures are completely dependent on their mother for nourishment and protection. The lioness, as the primary caregiver, imparts essential survival skills to her young. Lions tend to stay in their birth pride, while young males face a critical juncture. Typically, at the age of 2 to 3, the males are driven out by the dominant males, prompting a quest for independence. The transition from dependence to independence is fraught with challenges. After leaving the pride, the young males begin a nomadic journey that can last several years. This phase of their life is marked by uncertainty as they must navigate the dangers of the savanna. The pinnacle of a male lion's journey often occurs when he successfully defeats the resident males of a pride, allowing him to claim it as his own. Upon assuming leadership, the male steps into a new role: protector, provider, and mate. He must defend the pride against challengers and establish dominance over his territory. The lion's journey to becoming the king of the savanna is a profound tale of resilience, competition, and the complex dynamics of pride life. As apex predators, lions not only symbolize power and majesty, but also embody the intricacies of social structures in the animal kingdom. Known for their adaptability and solitary nature, leopards are one of the most versatile big cats, capable of thriving in diverse environments. During the dry season in the Kalahari, these majestic cats face unique challenges. And exhibit remarkable behaviors that highlight their resilience and adaptability. Hunting is a crucial aspect of a leopard's life, and during the dry season, the availability and behavior of prey species dictate their hunting strategies. In the Kalahari, common prey includes springbok, impala, and duiker, all of which can become more difficult to hunt as the dry season progresses. As water sources become scarce, herbivores tend to congregate around the few remaining water holes, making them more accessible to leopards. Leopards employ stealth and patience when stalking their prey, using their spotted coats to blend in with their surroundings. Their exceptional climbing abilities also allow them to ambush prey from trees, a strategy that can be particularly effective during the dry season. During the dry season, hunting becomes crucial for survival. Leopards tend to hunt more frequently during the cooler parts of the day or at night. Leopards are solitary animals, with both males and females maintaining large territories that they patrol and defend from intruders. During the dry season, territorial marking becomes increasingly important as competition for resources intensifies. Surviving the Kalahari's dry season requires significant adaptation from the leopard. Their physiology is well suited for a life of stealth and ambush. However, to thrive in this arid environment, leopards have also developed behaviors and physiological traits that allow them to cope with extreme temperatures. Leopards possess excellent climbing abilities, often retreating to trees, where they can escape danger and store their kills from other predators. Although they primarily hunt ungulates, they can switch to preying on smaller mammals or birds when large prey is scarce. Leopards play a crucial role in the Kalahari ecosystem as apex predators. By controlling herbivore populations, leopards ensure that the vegetation remains healthy and resilient. The Kalahari Desert, often characterized by its vast, arid landscapes and seasonal changes, is a unique habitat for a variety of wildlife, including the fastest land animal on Earth, the cheetah. Hunting is a critical aspect of a cheetah's life, and during the dry season, the availability and behavior of prey become especially important. Common cheetah prey in the Kalahari includes small to medium-sized ungulates like springbok, impala, and gazelles. Cheetahs are renowned for their incredible speed, capable of reaching up to 60 miles per hour in short bursts. This speed is a crucial asset during hunts. During the dry season, cheetahs often rely on their keen eyesight to spot potential prey from a distance. The dry season presents both opportunities and challenges for hunting. With sparse vegetation, Herbivores are more visible. However, as water sources dwindle, prey can become more vigilant, increasing the difficulty of successful hunts. The cheetah's unique hunting style, which involves a combination of sprinting and sharp turns, allows it to outmaneuver prey that relies on endurance rather than speed. While cheetahs are often solitary animals, their social structures are more flexible than those of lions. Female cheetahs typically raise their cubs alone, teaching them essential hunting skills and survival techniques. During the dry season, the mother's role becomes crucial as resources become scarce. On the other hand, male cheetahs may form small groups called coalitions, often consisting of brothers. These coalitions can enhance hunting success and provide protection. Surviving the Kalahari's dry season requires cheetahs to exhibit remarkable adaptations to cope with extreme temperatures and limited water. Their light-colored coats provide camouflage in the sandy environment, aiding in stalking prey. Furthermore, cheetahs have large nasal passages and lungs that allow for efficient oxygen intake. During the dry season, water becomes a primary concern for all desert-dwelling animals, including the cheetah. Cheetahs are highly adaptable and can survive for long periods without drinking water directly, obtaining the necessary moisture from their prey. Cheetahs play a vital role in the Kalahari ecosystem as apex predators. Their hunting activities help regulate prey populations, preventing overgrazing and promoting biodiversity. The majestic oryx, a symbol of resilience in the desert. In the arid lands of Namibia, where the sun beats down relentlessly and the earth is painted in hues of ochre and gold, the oryx stands as a testament to nature's resilience and beauty. The oryx, particularly the desert oryx, is a majestic creature characterized by its long, straight horns that can reach lengths of up to 35 inches. The oryx's coat is a beautiful blend of sandy beige and white, providing perfect camouflage against the desert sands. Standing about 4 feet tall at the shoulder, the oryx's muscular build is designed for endurance. Its long legs allow for swift movement across the vast desert expanses. The oryx primarily inhabits the Namib Desert, along with semi-arid regions and sparse grasslands. The oryx is renowned for its extraordinary ability to go for long periods without drinking water. They derive moisture from the vegetation they consume, such as grasses, leaves, and succulents. Socially, the oryx is often found in small herds, typically consisting of females and their young, led by a dominant male. The oryx stands as a majestic symbol of resilience, embodying the harsh beauty of the Namib Desert. In a world where survival often depends on the smallest of adaptations, the oryx teaches us about the incredible capacity of life to endure, thrive, and inspire in On the harsh plains of the Serengeti, an empire is built not by kings, but by queens. The lioness is the soul of the pride. They are born strategists, the keepers of the clan's lifeblood. On the battlefield, they need no command. Their patience is infinite. For the lioness, the hunt is not for glory, it is a life or death battle to ensure the survival of the next generation. The male guards the world without. The female runs the world within. A harsh pact written in blood and sacrifice. For millions of years, this kingdom has stood firm. Not by muscle alone, but by an alliance, forged in kinship. The Serengeti, a land where the sun dictates every law of survival. Under the scorching heat, time seems to stand still. But this is a calculated stillness. Here, life is measured in each restrained breath. The apex predator is never in a hurry. It understands a harsh truth. A split-second error can cost a week of hunger. And then the sky begins to tremble. The Great Migration, 1.5 million souls driven by a primal instinct to follow the rains. In this chaotic torrent, there is no room for fatigue or carelessness. Because here, to stop is to perish. The eternal cycle of Africa begins once more. Amidst tens of thousands of chaotic targets, choice is a matter of life and death. The lion does not hunt the crowd. It hunts the opening. Hoarse, broken sounds echo in the night, like a suppressed, mocking laugh, heralding the approach of the spotted hyena, the continent's most persistent and enduring scavenger. Not as large as a lion, nor as fast as a cheetah, the spotted hyena gains its dominance through stamina, a close-knit social structure, and remarkable adaptability. The jaw of a spotted hyena is one of the most powerful biological tools in the natural world. This ability allows the hyena to utilize nearly every part of a carcass, making them incredibly effective natural recyclers. Though often labeled as scavengers, studies show that spotted hyenas are in fact very effective hunters. One of the most striking features of the spotted hyena's social behavior is its rare matriarchal structure. Each clan controls a vast territory, which they regularly patrol and mark with scents and calls. In this ecosystem, they play a crucial role as natural sanitarians, helping to prevent the spread of disease. In the soft light of the savanna, the silhouette of a black rhino slowly emerges. With its powerful build, standing up to 5 feet tall and weighing around 3,000 pounds, the black rhino is not a creature to be trifled with. They bear 2 horns that grow continuously throughout their lives, used for defense and playing a crucial role in intense confrontations with their own kind. Despite being called the black rhino, their skin is actually an ashen gray, sometimes appearing brown from a layer of dust and mud that clings after a wallow. Unlike the grazing white rhino, the black rhino is a browser, equipped with a pointed, prehensile upper lip that functions almost like a finger. They can go several days without drinking directly, absorbing most of their moisture from the vegetation they consume, an essential advantage in such an arid environment. Here, even the solitary black rhino must share its space with a host of other wildlife. Unlike the daytime, when the scorching heat pushes life into the shade, the fall of night brings a change. Leaving the scorching heat of Africa, we venture into the green lung of the earth. Where humidity is breath, and the deep darkness of the jungle hides entirely different secrets. The Amazon. The new journey officially begins. In the silent sanctuary of the forest, ancient creatures still reign, carrying within them the secrets of millennia. The jaguar, lord of the night, glides with a deadly grace, its amber eyes glowing like embers in the dark. The giant anaconda, a mythical creature of South America, coils in the murky water, its iridescent skin a liquid memory of timelessness. And here, in the vast expanse, the toucan, with its brilliant beak, a colorful dance of creation, takes flight against the blue sky. The Amazon, an invitation to explore the depths of life. A journey into the emerald heart of South America, where the fingerprint of the Creator is present in every breath. The Amazon is not just a forest, it is the lungs of the world, a precious gift to all humanity. It is home to an estimated 390 billion trees of at least 16,000 different species, performing a sacred gas exchange, absorbing vast amounts of carbon dioxide and releasing pure oxygen. In addition, the Amazon is an incomparable treasure of biodiversity. It is estimated to be home to nearly 10% of all known species on Earth. Over 3 million invertebrate species, more than 2,200 freshwater fish species, 427 mammal species, over 1,300 bird species, 378 reptile species, and about 400 amphibian species. These creatures coexist in a mosaic of diverse ecosystems. As an ancient psalm says, the heavens declare the glory of God. And here, this entire majestic forest unceasingly proclaims the work of his hands. Each ecosystem plays an irreplaceable role in preserving global biodiversity, a priceless legacy for the future of the planet. High above the forest floor, a completely different world unfolds. The canopy is a kingdom suspended in midair. And it is here that the channel-billed toucan finds its ideal home. With its striking contrast of jet-black plumage and a gigantic, colorful beak, the toucan is one of the most impressive birds. The light beak, made of porous keratin, is a multifunctional tool. It reaches for distant fruits, peels nuts, and catches insects. As an architect of the forest, the toucan plays a crucial role in dispersing the seeds of hundreds of fruit-bearing tree species over a range of 6 to 12 miles. They often gather in small groups, communicating with their characteristic hoarse calls. If the toucan is the painter of the canopy, then the harpy eagle is its undisputed queen, the lord of the sky, the most powerful eagle in the Americas. With a wingspan of over 6.5 feet and a powerful build, the harpy eagle is a majestic sight as it soars over the highest canopy. Its crest of feathers can be raised, giving it a regal and fearsome appearance. But its true weapon lies in its enormous talons. Its main diet consists of tree-dwelling mammals such as monkeys and sloths. They hunt by perching silently, watching with patience. The presence of the harpy eagle plays a crucial role in controlling populations, maintaining ecological balance. Their nest building is a feat in itself, located on giant, ancient trees. For many indigenous tribes, it is a symbol of the forest's strength and indomitable spirit. In stark contrast to the harpy eagle, the three-toed sloth is the embodiment of slowness and tranquility. It lives its unhurried life like a philosopher of the green world. Perfectly adapted to a suspended life, it has developed a strategy of incredibly slow movement, each gesture deliberate to conserve energy. Its characteristic gray-green fur is often home to algae, moss, and even insects, creating a miniature ecosystem. A day in the life of a sloth is a hymn to rest, with up to 20 hours of sleep or inactivity. Famous for its speed of 0.15 miles per hour, adapted to its extremely low metabolism. Its nutrient-poor diet consists mainly of cecropia leaves. Its complex, multi-chambered stomach contains symbiotic bacteria that help it digest cellulose. It descends to the ground only about once a week to defecate. A dangerous but necessary journey for the life cycle of some moth species that live in its fur. Although slow on land, they are surprisingly good swimmers, living in harmony without competition, symbolizing balance. The forest floor is a stage for miniature societies. Prominent among them is the kingdom of the the tiny agricultural engineers of the Amazon. Millions of worker ants of various sizes, depending on their task, move in ceaseless streams. The leaves are not their direct food, but a substrate to cultivate a special type of fungus, their main source of nutrition. It is a perfect example of symbiosis, a wise arrangement of nature. The society is incredibly organized. With a caste-based division of labor, the queen can live for up to 15 years and lay millions of eggs. Geographically, the Amazon is the largest tropical rainforest ecosystem on the planet. A living carpet stretching nearly 2.5 million square miles, covering 9 South American countries. But the heart of the forest, its deepest pulse, beats stronger in Brazil, which holds about 60% of its area. The Amazon is also home to the mighty Amazon River system, the king of rivers, with a length of nearly 4,300 miles. In terms of discharge, no river can compare. Every second it pours about 55 million gallons of water into the Atlantic Ocean. Its tributaries are like great winding arteries, nourishing existence in every deep corner. The humid tropical climate, abundant rainfall, and stable year-round temperatures create the ideal cradle for life to flourish. Beneath the majestic canopy, the lowland tropical rainforest ecosystem stretches like an endless green labyrinth. These dense forests are home to a multi-layered vegetation, from 200-foot giants to small, shade-loving trees. The forest floor is a world of decomposition, and rebirth. Fungi, bacteria, and invertebrates break down organic matter, returning nutrients to the soil. Hidden among the damp leaves near clear streams, the glass frog is a delicate jewel. Its most unique feature is its transparent abdominal skin that allows its internal organs to be seen, a magical and fragile display of life. The green of their backs provides perfect camouflage. The males carefully tend to the egg clutches on the leaves, protecting them and keeping them moist. The river system is the lifeblood of the Amazon. The Amazon River possesses a creative force, nurturing millions of creatures. Its enormous flow is home to the greatest diversity of freshwater fish on the planet, some 3,000 species. The aquatic vegetation is abundant, from microorganisms to the iconic Victoria amazonica water lily. Among the sediment-rich waters, the pink Amazon River dolphin, or boto, lives. The characteristic pink hue of the adults is a magical color. A long beak, a flexible body, a neck that can turn 90 degrees. It moves easily through the flooded forests to hunt. Famous for its intelligence and curiosity, in indigenous folklore they are considered sacred, shape-shifting creatures. The arapaima, a living fossil from the Cretaceous period, is one of the largest freshwater fish. Its unique feature is its ability to breathe air with a swim bladder that has been modified into a primitive lung, surfacing every 10 to 20 minutes. Mainly carnivorous, it hunts by stalking. During the breeding season, the male shows incredible parental care, holding the young in his mouth and secreting a nutritious substance. The black caiman reigns in the rivers, lakes, and swamps, a descendant of crocodilians from 80 million years ago. The largest member of the Alligatoridae family in South America, up to 20 feet long and weighing over 880 pounds, with jet black skin for perfect camouflage. A patient hunter, it ambushes its prey, maintaining ecological balance by controlling populations. It was once on the brink of extinction for its skin. Now it is recovering thanks to conservation efforts, but still faces threats. Beneath the surface exists another world, the cave and subterranean ecosystems. Here, life has evolved in incredible ways to adapt to a harsh environment. In the impenetrable darkness, the blind cave fish is perfectly adapted. Its eyes have degenerated, replaced by an extremely sensitive sensory system on its lateral line and chemoreceptors. This adaptation is a testament to the miracle of life, even in the most extreme conditions. As night falls, the vampire bat begins its hunt. Sharp incisors create small, painless cuts. It uses echolocation and thermoception to find blood vessels. It licks the flowing blood, aided by the anticoagulant draculin. They live in close-knit colonies, sharing food, a complex and often misunderstood role in the ecosystem. From the highest canopy to the darkest depths, the Amazon is a powerful testament to the magical interconnectedness of all things. No creature exists in isolation. Each has its role. It is a cosmic dance of interdependence, a hymn to the unity of life, where life and death, creation and destruction all intertwine. Despite the vast diversity already known, the Amazon still holds countless secrets. Millions of unknown species may still be hidden, waiting to be discovered. Nature always holds incredible mysteries that invite us to contemplate and be grateful for this world full of evolutionary marvels. Deforestation for timber, agriculture, ranching, and mining is happening at an alarming rate. The WWF notes that since 1970, over 17% of the original Amazon rainforest has been destroyed, a painful scar. Pollution from illegal gold mining, agriculture, and waste is poisoning the rivers. The construction of dams alters the water flow. Climate change causes droughts and fires. Ancient wisdom teaches that the earth was entrusted to us to care for. The Amazon is crying out in desperation. We, with hearts imbued with respect for life, have a responsibility to care for this sacred land. Amidst this grim picture, glimmers of hope shine through. Strong, passionate, and creative efforts are being made to protect and restore this vital forest. The Amazon Region Protected Areas (ARPA) program is the largest forest conservation program, protecting over 60 million hectares. Moving stories come from indigenous peoples who establish their own reserves, managing and protecting millions of hectares. The rate of deforestation in many indigenous territories has significantly decreased. Science and technology support with satellite monitoring and reforestation research. Models like agroforestry, community-based ecotourism, and sustainable extraction offer alternative economic solutions. The Amazon has suffered, but with innovative solutions and collective effort, it is still regenerating. Salvation comes from a deep connection to life, scientific knowledge, indigenous wisdom, and a love for creation. The struggle to protect the Amazon is not just the responsibility of scientists or governments. Each of us, wherever we live, shares the responsibility. Individual actions make a difference. Support organizations, spread awareness, make responsible consumer decisions. The call to action must resonate in every individual, from indigenous communities to global citizens. The Amazon is not only the lungs of the earth, but also a living testament to the universe's infinite love for all beings. The Amazon, a name that evokes greatness, mystery, and an indomitable life force. It is not just a forest, a river, or a collection of flora and fauna. The Amazon is a grand symphony of life, a complex network of delicate interactions. The echo of this sacred emerald jewel will forever resonate in the minds and hearts of those who have witnessed its beauty. It reminds us of our sacred responsibility to preserve this priceless treasure for future generations. Even the smallest of creatures, as the Bible says, are not forgotten before God. The mysteries of the Amazon remain, inviting constant exploration, but also demanding absolute respect and humility before the greatness of creation. And hope, like the fresh green shoots that sprout after a jungle rain, will always bloom in the hearts of those who love, understand, and are willing to act.
Amid the vastness of the savanna, there is a hunter that the most hurried eyes often overlook. It is not large nor loud, but its every step is a promise of precision, the serval. Standing just over 2 feet tall, it is a specialist in small-scale hunting. Its large mobile ears act like radar dishes scanning the environment. Every sound is captured with high clarity. It pauses, listens, calculates, and then with an almost otherworldly leap it springs into the air. The serval can jump over 6 feet high, a short flight precise and almost silent. It returns to the ground with its prey already secured in its jaws. Its targets are small rodents, lizards, birds, insects. Everything demands precision, which is why its hunting success rate is one of the highest on the savanna. It lives in the gaps of the ecosystem hunting, where larger predators do not bother. It avoids being noticed, and that is what keeps it safe. It is the embodiment of adaptation, a master of quiet efficiency. It does not need great size to make an impact. Every movement is gentle, yet always with a clear purpose. Its success comes from patience and absolute precision. In the wild world, efficiency is sometimes more important than power. It is proof that to live silently is not to be weak. The African savanna is a territory where every heartbeat follows an ancient instinct. Survival is measured not just in strength or speed, but is expressed in daily decisions in the reading of the environment. Each predator we have seen shapes this landscape in its own way, forming a delicate balance where there is no room for weakness. From solitary hunters to pack strategists, from the calculated leap to the explosive underwater attack, all follow rules that were never written. Because on the savanna, the top of the food chain is not a fixed position, it is a constant challenge. These salt flats border various bodies of water, some with surprisingly strong currents. The entire pan covers an area of around 42 acres. Its name Vermont is derived from the French Mont Vert, meaning green mountain, a name inspired by the verdant slopes of the nearby Onrus mountain. A footpath, the Vermont Trail, now winds along the edge of the pan, drawing nature lovers who come to witness its remarkable bird life. In spring and early summer, the air is thick with birds. It is possible to count as many as 40 different species in a single hour. During the dry season, however, many will depart, migrating to other feeding grounds, some to the far corners of the globe. The waters here can shift from swift-flowing channels to tranquil lagoons, and every species finds a niche perfectly suited to its needs. And here, amidst the shimmering haze, the first of our residents reveals itself. The red-knobbed coot, a creature for whom perfection is a constant pursuit. It is an activity to which it devotes a great deal of time, second only to the endless search for food. Observing these birds at close quarters is not easy. They are exceptionally shy. They feed on algae and the roots and stems of aquatic plants. Given the chance, they will also take small invertebrates, even diving deep to find them. The female lays a clutch of 5 to 7 eggs, and both parents share the duties of incubation. The chicks are quick to leave the nest after hatching, and will remain with their parents for about a month. They begin to forage for themselves between 55 and 60 days of age. The 2 red knobs on their foreheads, which distinguish them from other coots, appear only during the breeding season. At this time, the red-knobbed coot becomes highly territorial, fiercely defending its patch. But life here is a delicate balance. For the Cape shoveler, every ripple on the water, every shadow from above could signify the end. Survival is a moment-to-moment victory. Tragically, many young red-knobbed coots do not survive sometimes due to the overzealous care of their parents. Male and female Cape shovelers are easily told apart by the male's distinctive yellow eyes. They are most often seen in pairs or small flocks. These ducks are omnivores, their animal diet consisting mainly of mollusks and insects. This remarkable underwater hunter has an equally remarkable name, the great crested grebe. It is about the size of a common mallard. In many countries, this bird is now either locally extinct or stands on the brink of vanishing. The great crested grebe is a superb swimmer, but a reluctant flyer. It takes to the air only during seasonal migrations, flying low with a wingspan of about 3 feet. The grebe's preferred food is fish. It will also take small mollusks and crustaceans, and in times of scarcity will not refuse various kinds of larvae. It can pursue its prey to depths of 13 to 20 feet and is able to hold its breath for several minutes. In the spring, the grebe develops its special breeding attire, dark ear-like tufts, and a chestnut red ruff around its cheeks. Remarkably, their chicks can swim and dive almost immediately after hatching. Here, there is room enough for all. The black-winged stilt, a creature seemingly sketched from a single impossibly fine line balanced upon legs that defy gravity. It is acutely vulnerable to environmental change. Their numbers are in decline, and they are forced to migrate frequently, partly due to human activity, altering water levels and nesting sites. A stilt's wingspan can reach 28 to 33 inches. Its slender red legs account for about 60% of its total height. The grey heron can stand up to 39 inches tall and fly at speeds of nearly 40 miles per hour. Though it may hunt alone, it lives in quite large colonies. This unique bird lives near water, searching for a variety of insects and larvae. It is a migratory species with different strategies for its journeys. The grey heron's diet is quite varied, but consists mainly of fish. In addition, it will take amphibians, mollusks, crustaceans, and even small rodents. This is no ordinary gull, but the kelp gull. Although we see only one, this bird lives in small coastal colonies. The black-winged stilt is monogamous and nests near the shore, usually no more than 100 yards from the water's edge. Each clutch contains 2 to 4 eggs, with both parents sharing the task of incubation. After about 30 days, the young can fly and find their own food. The oldest recorded individual of this species lived for around 12 years. The white-breasted cormorant, as its name suggests, has a brilliant white chest and neck. It is a substantial bird with a body length of almost 3 feet. It favors open waters, both salt and fresh lakes, deltas, bays, and lagoons, as long as there is an abundance of fish. Each day, a single bird requires about a pound of food and is capable of swallowing a fish up to 2.5 feet long. A cormorant's body is built for pursuing fish. It has little fat but immensely powerful muscles. They can dive to depths of around 13 feet and hold their breath for a full minute. Cormorant colonies can range from 10 to 500 pairs. They will travel nearly 40 miles in search of a meal and thousands of miles during migration. The gray heron's neck has a unique shaped structure, giving it the flexibility to strike almost instantly to seize its prey. Besides fish, crustaceans, and amphibians, it will also prey on small birds or their chicks. It can hunt by day or by night. The kelp gull can live beside the ocean or by inland freshwater. The juveniles have a dark brown back and take 3 to 4 years to reach maturity. This is a young kelp gull with a characteristic mottled brown plumage on its back. It is an opportunist, eating any small prey it can find as well as carrion and refuse. The gray heron may nest in trees or near the water and has a habit of returning to the same nest or at least the same nesting site year after year. Pairs are formed through a courtship ritual in which the male calls to prospective females. Once a pair is formed, they build the nest together, the male gathering materials, the female undertaking the construction. They take turns incubating their clutch of 2 to 3 eggs. After about 25 days, the chicks hatch and are fed by both parents for another 7 to 8 weeks before they can fly. Flamingos, truly fascinating birds and an adornment to any landscape. This extraordinary creature's wingspan can reach 5.5 feet, and it can stand nearly 4 feet tall. They can fly at speeds of up to 37 miles per hour. They are highly social, sometimes gathering in groups thousands strong during their migrations. Flamingos patrol the shallows by day, searching for food such as mollusks, crustaceans, crabs, and insects. They also supplement their diet with plant matter like grasses, seeds, and algae. The flamingo's beak is a highly specialized structure that functions as a filter. The bird can submerge its beak and sometimes its entire head to draw in water, which it then forces out, trapping the food inside. One theory suggests the kelp gull's alternate name Dominican gull refers to the Dominican order of friars whose habits its plumage is said to resemble. Despite their delicate appearance, flamingos are not only strong flyers, but also competent swimmers. They bathe regularly to clean their feathers. Flamingos are monogamous, but form a new pair bond each breeding season. They perform elaborate courtship displays involving synchronized wing raising and head flagging. The pair builds the nest together. A single egg is laid rarely too. Both parents then share incubation duties for 27 to 30 days. The young stay close to the adults. A chick is typically gray and will not develop its full adult plumage until it is 2 or 3 years old. The kelp gull has one particularly distinctive feature, a single red spot on its bill.